The answer is simple: your life. Now, this is something that was mentioned to me during my yoga classes by one of my instructors who would try to get us out of our minds and our bodies and back into the realization that we are the awareness of ourselves, the life force within us, rather than the chattering body or the chattering mind. Now, spirituality is something that has evolved over the past several years, and there have been ideals in the past that there's this deity outside of us that we need to pray to and worship. But modern science can't really support this. There's an evolving belief that there's an infinite intelligence in everything inside of us. It's what makes the stars shoot across the sky, what helps the trees to grow, the bees to fly. It's in everything. And our gift as human beings is that we have the awareness of the consciousness and that energy within us in order to manifest our full potential. Now, what does this look like? Now, some people relate to this energy as God, inner guide, universe, universal energy. But for the sake of today's talk, I'm going to relate this to self. Now, what does this look like? Self is infinite. It is weightless, raceless, colorless, lacks so much of a history, but it is existence itself. It doesn't depend on one thing or another. It simply is, innate within us at all times, and it's just our choice in the moment to tap into that or not. Now, defining self-realization is our ability to fulfill our own potential. Now, the mind sets the potential that we are able to achieve. We set that for ourselves. It's not necessarily set by anybody else. So if you believe that you can do something, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to give it a shot and have a better chance of achieving it rather than believing that you're not possible of it. And if we believe that we are a part of the infinite life force that moves through everything, then from the core of the earth to the tip of the atmosphere and even beyond that, we are capable of so much. Think of how the volcanoes erupt and how all of the different life processes take place. Life itself has infinite capabilities, and when we define ourselves as that, we open our mind up past the boundaries that have been set, maybe by society or our own self. Each of us is a seed put in the soil. We each have a different purpose on this earth. And each seed, each plant, each being has a different gift to offer society. Whether you're a pepper plant or an orange tree, your duty is to realize what you are and give that gift. So what is self-realization in the modern time that we live in? We live in a society where conscious consumption and our ability to deliver and give back to the world is paramount. And there are so many ways to do this, but there are also growing distractions in the process of us doing this. But infinite self can overcome. So the first thing I want to talk about in regards to conscious consumption is not just what we put in our bodies or what we're listening to or the type of people we surround ourselves with. In the yoga room, we're taught to focus on ourselves in the mirror because we are the one variable that we can control in that room. For me, I practice the style of hatha yoga that's done in a 105-degree heat room, 90 minutes, 2 breathing exercises, 26 postures. It is definitely a roller coaster. It plays with your emotions, your body, your heart rate, your breathing, and you have to focus so much. It trains your endocrine and your nervous system to deal with stress completely differently than you otherwise would as someone maybe not adapted to that. And, there are times, yes, there are other people in the room. There are other people in the room. And what happens is sometimes the mind can wander off. Sometimes there can be a distraction. But it's our ability to bring our mind back in and focus back on ourselves that will help us move forward. And this applies outside the yoga room as well. If we get lost in things like social media or judging ourselves as that, I mean, social media has grown so much in the past decade. Now over 65% of adults use social media on 5 average platforms. For example, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, Pinterest, you name it. And the University of Houston and Palo Alto University joined together to do a study separately at each of their universities, addressing the question of how is specifically Facebook affecting people's psychological health. Now, both universities found that it had a negative effect, and they were seeing depressive symptoms in people that were using these platforms because they were comparing themselves to other people. Now, comparing yourself to someone else doesn't really make sense. If we're all an extension of the same life force, just manifested in different forms, and we all each have something different to offer the world, what good does it do to compare yourself to someone else? For me personally, social media has been a wonderful tool for educating myself and learning more about things that are a little bit more underground than mainstream media would allow. It's been an amazing thing for me. And one other thing is that yoga has an ability to combat depression. The specific yoga style that I practice was actually studied at Harvard University with a container of students in a contained study where they went through the process of practicing yoga every day for 30 days. And the reverse was found. They were actually alleviating their depressive symptoms. Why is this? Because they were spending time with themselves in front of the mirror. They were dealing with all of the insecurities they might have. They were addressing their own fears. They were stretching their bodies, strengthening their muscles, and doing the same to their mind. They were cultivating a good relationship with their self, the ability to rise above the mind and the nagging body at times. So it has positive effects. And these are proven. I can attest to them. I felt such a difference and such a better relationship with myself and my infinite potential, seeing all that my body was capable of achieving by pursuing my yoga practice. Now, when it comes back to social media, it has been a very positive experience for me. And I've been able to connect to people all over the world and discuss and learn about topics that I otherwise may have not been able to be exposed to. And one of those is following a raw foods lifestyle and a vegan lifestyle. Now, 7 to 10 years ago, when I was just getting sort of involved in this and learning more about it after I had overcome some health issues after high school, I was turned on to the idea that plant foods have a full spectrum of nutrition in them. And there is that same innate intelligence in them. They grow out of the earth. These are magical foods to me. And eating them in their raw, whole, ripe, organic state, preferably, offers the most nutrition and the most premium fuel to our bodies, the building blocks of what we're able to do. I've felt an increase in my strength, in my flexibility, and just overall how my body functions so much. I'm able to recover from sickness so much more easily, and it has been so amazing to connect with other people my own age or people that have been doing it longer than I have and be exposed to everything that they have learned as well. Now, growing up and having the different health problems that I did, I sought to understand what was possibly causing this. And it turns out the World Health Organization found in the last year that red meat actually is a contributor to cancer growth in the body. Now, when Hippocrates says, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food," how can we consider something that is cancer-causing, disease-causing to the human body to be food or medicine? By my definition or understanding of that, it couldn't be. So after having eliminated animal products out of my diet for the past 7 years, I've felt tremendous health changes. And by eating fruits and vegetables, they have no cholesterol in them, which combats the number one killer, which is heart disease right now. They have phytochemicals and antioxidants in them that combat the number two killer, which is cancer. And they're abundant and rich in fiber and water, along with the glucose that fuels every single cell in the human body, in such a way that does not spike blood sugar, preventing obesity and diabetes. These are all diet-prevented ailments that people are dying from these days. Now, the meat and dairy industry has done a very good job of, promoting their products to the general public. However, it's not benefiting our relationships to ourselves when we're feeling limited by our health and we're not able to pursue everything that we want to and feel our full vibrancy to be able to achieve everything that we want to. These foods are filled with life, sacred geometry, filled with a full spectrum of color. They're beautiful, and our bodies are constantly replacing the cells. So when we're putting the nutrition in, it's building us to be stronger. It's building us to run more efficiently and to have healthier levels of energy in our bodies. It supports our life. Now, I was so inspired by this realization of the power of raw foods nutrition that it actually motivated me to want to return to dancing after taking a 2-year break once graduating from high school. When I graduated from high school, I had been dancing 25 to 40 hours a week for almost 16 years and fueling myself on foods that were not fueling me properly. Once I found the correct fuel and started building my body back with my yoga practice, I was able to return to dance in a couple years. And this inspired me so much to want to share this with people, with other students, with families and businesses, that it motivated me to start my own business, which helped people access raw fruits and vegetables locally grown in California of the highest quality and seasonally. And it connected me to those people in my community, which benefited me greatly, and it made me feel like I had a sense of community, and I wasn't doing this alone. Now, each and every single person has a different passion that they want to offer the world, a different way that they want to give back. Now, unfortunately, about 20% of people only feel satisfied by their jobs, meaning 70 to 80% of people are not satisfied with the work that they do in society and how they give back to society. And it's not an equal balance in how it affects them. They don't feel like they get the same amount out of what they give. And there's so much potential for people to feel fulfilled in that way. Entrepreneurship is growing at a rapid pace, and it's being celebrated in this time now. And there are so many tools available to us. YouTube, you can learn how to start a business by using social media. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. There are so many different types of new emerging issues that need the attention of the young minds of today, and even people that live in different areas of the world. Now, I would love to see a world where there weren't problems like deforestation and environmental issues or malnutrition, and everybody had adequate shelter and water. That way we could hear from the perspective of all these people and how they could benefit. But I feel like we have a duty to realize our full potential and see how those needs can be met, how those bridges can be gapped. Now, for me, as a choreographer and a dance instructor, returning to my passion was something that gave me a new sense of enjoyment in life. I was able to do something that I thought I was going to have to give up because my health was so compromised. By my junior year in college, I returned to dance and now can say that I've trained in over 30 dance styles. I built upon what I had learned when I was younger, and I'm able to teach and choreograph all over Southern California now and work with students to help them feel empowered and enjoy their performance on stage. And seeing my dancers that I work with that are competitive dancers, grew up doing what I did when I was younger, seeing them win regional and national awards and knowing that I was a part of that process gives me so much satisfaction to know that I'm able to do something that I love and give back to society in such a way that fulfills me just as much. This is the right for every single person. And only you know the blocks that are keeping you from getting to what your passion is. That passion is your medicine. It's the thing that you don't need outside of yourself to make you feel good. It comes from within. Now, to get to this point in my life, I had to overcome a lot of mental distractions and disturbances, and life has its different experiences that it throws at you. The mind can lie to you, play tricks on you, tell you all sorts of things. But the truth of the matter is that what we are is so much more powerful than our mind. That infinite source within us can really accomplish whatever we need to. What you are is the doctor that knows how to write the perfect prescription for yourself. You are your own savior to worship, the architect of your destiny, the engineer of your success, the astronaut blasting through higher stages of consciousness to discover the infinite space within, the tree growing its roots into the soil and giving its fruit, overcoming the adversity of the storms, the day-to-day things that may get in the way. You're the dancer moving to your own choreography as you give the universe the performance of your life. Each step, each routine that you keep in your daily practice is what you give to us. Not everything you need, you already have. It's just a choice in the moment to tap into that. Your life force is the most important thing in your life. Now, everybody has their own dance to share with the world. So do not die with your dance still in you. Thank you.